Respect the value of each other's opinion. Watch your spouse beam with joy. Hello, we talk about writing, speaking, coaching, marketing, and marriage. Today we're again talking about marriage. We have been talking about steps toward meeting each other's needs as husbands and wives. The first step involved us making a list of our needs and ranking them in the order of importance for each one of us. Now we are in the second step where we're talking about using that information. In the first step, we had a list of needs that have been identified by marriage counselors and marriage researchers. And then we customized those lists by adding our own ideas if we thought there had been some that had been left out. And then we took those lists and we ranked them in the order of importance to each of us. Then after that, we traded the list, and that gave us some revelations, gave us some ideas of things that maybe we had not considered before. So I want to encourage you in thinking about meeting each other's needs. Now in the second step, we're talking about using that list to gain better understanding for each of us in dealing with our husbands or wives. And so we want to talk about respecting the value of each other's opinions when it comes to these lists. You may be surprised to find that your number one need is way down on the list of your wife or your husband. And so we're going to talk about respecting the value of each other's opinions. You see, out of these thousands of couples that had been surveyed, and this list of 10 or so needs were identified, there were many others that were also important. And that's why you customized your own list. But we're talking about respecting the value of each other's opinions. Our opinions, one is not better than the other, it's just different. And it is really good if we have been honest in how we feel about these needs in our particular situations. So respecting the value of each other's opinions, as I said, the wife was just beaming. She said, "My husband really gets me, and he listens to me, and sometimes he acts on what he has to say." You see, this is important for both of us because it motivates us to do things that can be beneficial to our marriage. So we want to respect the value of each other's opinions. First of all, it builds you up. Whenever you feel built up, it makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you are likely then to want to continue on in a certain project or a certain thing that you are doing. So it makes you feel good, especially whenever your spouse meets your need. And it makes you feel good that if your spouse previously has been unaware of how important some things are to you, and in this process of identifying how important these things are, they begin to meet your needs like they had not before. That makes you feel good. But it also, makes us feel good whenever we start attempting to do a better job at meeting our mate's needs. At least we know that we are trying and we can show them that that is what we are doing. Well, so it shows that we're trying, it makes us feel good, and then also it gives us a basis for discussion. So you might not questioning that is really how your husband or your wife feels, not questioning that, but sometimes you may ask for clarification. What is it about this that really triggers you, really motivates you? How is it that this thing really motivates your need? Now, wives, be prepared. Your husbands may not be able to articulate very well some of their feelings, but they might. You never know. But it does give you a basis for discussion, because after a while you will begin to consider, well, what is it about that makes me feel so good? And what is it about that motivates me? So it gives you a basis for discussion. The second thing is, it gives you joint projects. Whenever you are working on things together, that gives you the opportunity to be together. Now, some couples say, well, that's not too good. We always just get in an argument when we try to do things together. But if you respect each other in how you approach things, how you ask questions, how you are not critical with a critical tone whenever you ask a question about, should we be doing this way, or could we do it differently? I know of a family that bought some chickens. They have decided to build a chicken house and to build a chicken run that would go with it. Now, they did not know much about it, and they started watching videos trying to figure out how to do this project. And fortunately, they had a friend who was pretty good at building, who came over and helped them get started with it. So this friend really did a lot of things, and he speeded up the process quite a bit. But they had done most of the project themselves, most of the planning, and they would come up with different ideas. And their testimony was it had actually been good for them to be doing this together. The wife said, well, I learned to be careful how I would ask a question if I thought maybe something could have been done differently. And she said, and he really listened, and he considered the ideas, and then we came up with the idea. Well, working on these lists of meeting each other's needs is giving you a joint project. It is something that you are doing together. And working on this list of meeting each other's needs shows that you are willing to change. And that goes a long way in a marriage. Well, and so when you're talking about being willing to change, this also respecting the value of each other's opinions, especially in the areas of felt needs, it also forms the basis for change. So there's a difference whenever you want to do something and when you are forced to do something. If you feel like you are being forced to do something, then you are not as likely to be motivated to do that particular thing. But if it is something that you really want to do, then you go into it without abandon. And so it forms the basis for change. It helps you, respecting each other's opinions, to listen, to really listen to each other's ideas and to consider those ideas. But beyond that, it gives you the joy of knowing that you are serving each other. It makes you feel good to know that you are serving someone else. And it makes you feel good whenever someone is serving you and meeting your needs. I don't mean that in a selfish way. I just mean that we are fulfilled, and of course that makes us feel good. So, respect the value of each other's opinions whenever you make this ranked list of felt needs. in your marriage. Well, I hope this has been helpful to you. If you would like some more tips like these, and there are blog posts based on these videos, if you go to randycarney.com and you look up at the top of the page, you see the word marriage. You can click on that, and that will take you to the list of blog posts dealing with marriage. Also, you can go to Randy Carney. You can just search for Randy Carney or Dr. Randy Carney at Amazon.com, and a list of my books will come up. There are 2 books there currently on marriage. Actually, what I'm talking about, this topic today, is actually coming from the 5th book, which will be out soon. But those previous books are there at Amazon.com. And if you're interested in writing a book yourself, then there is a book, How to Write a Book in 28 Days or Less Without Stressing Yourself to Death. Go check it out. Subscribe, please, to my YouTube channel and my Rumble channel. Well, I hope you are having a great day. And until next time for Walking with Randy, I'm Randy Carney, wishing you the best in your marriage.